welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for checking us out this week. Oh, it's so nice to have you here. Yes, you, and some of our new people, too, who have, I know there's somebody out there, one of you out there, who messaged me not too long ago that said you have blown through all 400 episodes in like 3 months.
Dang, man.
Congratulations to you as we hit this episode of Critical Hit. So we're going to dedicate this one to you, hardcore listener. So, Rodrigo, how about we do a special episode for our hardcore listeners?
Somebody told me once that they had binged Critical Hit and now they thought in my voice.
Wow. No.
Which
That's weird.
which I assume has to be pretty close to the inner disc of hell. It's just like, I don't even think in my own voice. Are you kidding?
Well, that's actually true because you don't hear your voice from inside your skull.
Yeah, I sound
I do.
great
Sound different.
until I listen
Yeah.
to myself, and then I'm like, oh my god, how can anybody stand this? So yes,
Yeah.
thank you, hardcore listener, and I'm sorry, and you also think that you are sorry. So anyway, last time,
On Critical Hit.
what did happen last time?
We made it
Critical
through a blockade.
Barely.
A
Yes.
gathering of angels appeared above our heads. No, wait.
We made it.
That's-
We made it to the barrier wall at Snap Stab Island,
Snap,
Mhm.
snap.
and now we're just waiting to see what happens next.
Probably snapping and stabbing.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back, Rob.
Amazing.
It's your turn in the initiative. We thought you were here. Cat's being eaten by an owlbear.
That tracks.
Oh man,
Excellent. Pursued by owlbear.
No, I
Death saving throw, Cat. No, that's all right. That's all right.
No, it's cool. It's cool. We didn't get you killed. You just took off all your armor and gave us all your money and hid yourself in a room with all the monsters. So you'll be fine.
This is like that time when we went on vacation and my mom left me at the restroom, at the rest area as they drove off.
I hate that story so much.
Um,
It's late, guys.
no, it's early.
It's getting later all the time.
Yes.
Anyway,
all
welcome to the
right. So
party.
what's the plan here?
Well, there was a humanoid on the shore that was waving out to us, so let's maybe go talk to them.
Well, you're past them. They were on the wall.
Well, then let's get.
Do you think we
figure
can
out how
move
to-
forward, or do you think those giant spikes are going to shoot out again?
Is there a dock?
Okay. So we'll do this. Let's take a step back and describe this wall. So, as you guys are moving towards it, you see that it is, in fact, this enormous wall coming out straight out of the astral sea. It has kind of these archway entrances, or presumably there are other ones, but right now you guys only see one. This wall is just a dark gray stone, and there is, in fact, what appears to be some sort of humanoid at the very top of it. But again, you guys are going so fast, or I guess you guys ended up slowing down. So we'll say you get a better look at it. It appears to be a human-sized creature with big pointy ears. It appears to be kind of reddish in color, and basically looks down at you guys as you approach the wall, which has a big kind of spike gate or at it, and which is lifted as you guys approach. As you guys move through the gate, you find that this is sort of an outer wall, and you are still on the astral sea. There are pillars and bridges and sort of these channels as well that connect the walls to each other. So you're moving from an outer wall to an inner wall. And these pillars and bridges and towers are absolutely packed. And by that, I don't even mean there are like, guys poking their heads out of the windows and out of the parapets and standing on the bridges. I mean, the towers themselves are just crawling with goblins, like on the outside, that are moving along the walls. You walk in, and just at a snapshot, you can see thousands of goblins climbing up and down the walls, moving through the bridges. They all have their eyes on your ship, and they're all kind of hissing and screeching at you as you come through. You do spot here and there some other critters, which if you've done your research or literally have met some, in some cases you recognize as hobgoblins. They are, goblins are small in the D&D sense. They're like, no more than 4 feet tall.
Mhm.
Hobgoblins are like regular medium-sized humanoids, so anywhere between 5 and 6 feet tall, usually have I also have big ears and big red eyes and bad skin, usually red or yellow or greenish. As you guys come through and approach the inner wall, the gate opens, or another gate opens to let you into the inner wall, and you start to notice something about the screeching and hissing and screaming,
Mhm.
and that is that it's actually weirdly tonal,
Like they're singing?
like they're singing. Yeah. And it's like, it's still weirdly threatening, but yeah, there's like 100,000 singing goblins here.
Whoa.
Go die, go die, go die.
So I'm curious,
That's creepy.
they speak what language? I mean, Goblin, but
Yep.
is that something that Ket understands?
Does anybody speak goblin?
Nope.
Not it.
Let me check. Don't think so. I do not.
Nor do I.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe time to start working on that ritual.
Hold for an hour.
Yes, please hold.
Comprehend languages an hour?
I don't know. I just.
It's
said
not. It's less than that, but
it. I was
Yeah,
looking it up.
you do
10
have
minutes.
to cast it, and you do have to have
Yep.
a piece of the writing or have heard it. And these guys are not actually.
Speaking.
Yeah, they're not singing words. They are just
Mhm.
like hissing and screeching and
Okay.
nya-nyaing.
Yep.
I mean, it is a little bit like that.
Do we seem to be kind
It
of
is
like getting
10
shepherded
minutes.
to a particular port or somewhere?
There's really only one direction to go. This is a pretty direct channel, so you're being moved to the inner wall. Again, another gate opens, and then once you're there is a kind of this actually fairly advanced looking system of locks that kind of siphons through the astral sea liquid and actually raises your ship to a platform, which
Neat.
then kind of locks it in place.
Is there someone meeting us there? Is there?
There is a gangplank is moved to your ship, and there is a hobgoblin and a bunch of goblins there. And the captain kind of looks around and says, like, well, I hope you guys weren't hoping for a quick getaway.
Yeah.
Nope, we weren't really expecting one. We were hoping to talk and about our mutual enemies out there.
So far, so good. We'll just wait here.
I think that's a good idea. So we'll
Yeah.
all gather our stuff and start heading down the plank.
Okay. The hobgoblin that meets you is wearing some nice robes and the goblins that he's with are wearing loincloths at best. There's about 6 of them, and they're armed, and mostly they seem to be there to be threatening. And they, any given goblin looks like it's been through a trash compactor. Like, these guys all look really rough. So they picked some like particularly scarred up and scary looking goblins for the welcome wagon.
Nice.
So yeah, once you guys get off the actual gangplank and onto this pier area, he steps up and says, "Identify yourselves."
We are emissaries of Arathis, hoping to treat with Malgublyet.
It's a little proud of you to show up somewhere and expect an audience with a god. Do you not think?
Yes, but we figured that we could also help with your blockade problem. And unfortunately, we weren't able to send emissaries because of said blockade problem.
I suppose that's understandable. Well, Malgublyet moves in very mysterious ways, so perhaps he will want to see you. And as you come under the flag of diplomacy, I suppose we'll let you in.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Please follow me. Try not to step on anybody.
Yes.
Of course.
You guys follow the hobgoblin. As like, again, wearing nice robes, bumpy greenish skin, red eyes. And he walks you to the docks and says, welcome to Snapstaff, glorious home of our Lord Malgublyet.
Thank you.
I suppose none of you had ever been here before.
Unfortunately not.
Well, feel free to bask in the glory of our city. This over here are the docks, possibly the most humble place. Now, that hole over there is where we ripped out the building that we threw at you. We do apologize for that misunderstanding, although you probably want to inform your semaphore operator to update their codes.
Oh, keep that in mind.
Why a house?
Oh, well, that house was damaged in the previous siege, and we don't always have a lot of materials to throw, so we figured, why not put it to good use? You will find that a lot of things here are reused as necessary. Goblins are very industrious people and very adaptable.
Ah, yes, of course. Makes
How
complete
did
sense.
you throw the house?
We used, what do you call it, a sling.
It must have been a very, very large sling. Who pulled it?
I suppose a team of maybe a dozen goblins or so.
Impressive.
Oh, yes. I mean, do you want to see the sling?
Kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
All right, we'll show you the sling. He kind of changes direction. And, you see there at the edge of the docks is a rail, sort of not on top of the docks, but on basically basically the sidewalk just ends at and there's just like a sheer drop. And if you look down the wall that leads then down to the Astral Sea, you see that there's a large set of rails. And if you look down the way at the rails, eventually you see what is essentially a colossal slingshot.
Awesome.
You see a group of goblins and a couple of hobgoblins like maintaining it, like checking the cranks and everything, and they seem to have like a mechanism whereas they or wherein they pull 2 separate strands behind something, and then the strands are tipped with like these like big metal toothy things, and they basically pull them back, snap them together, and then let them go, essentially forming the slingshot.
That is
But
very
right
impressive.
now they're just set.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ingenious
That
design.
is pretty-
I know that, but it's
Are
good to
you the
hear.
designer?
No. No, I'm afraid a lot of these designs are from an older time, a simpler time. Times when we could spare the steel to create an enormous slingshot.
Mm,
But perhaps someday again.
indeed.
So I suppose you will want to rest someplace. Gotta put you up. Yes, follow me. We'll go this way.
Okay.
Thank you.
As you guys move through what are now streets of what appears to be a residential area, you notice that a lot of these buildings are kind of, medium humanoid-sized buildings. They're not like, goblin warrens or anything like that. This actually looks like a city. But you can spot a lot of movement inside. It kind of looks like, there's some curious goblins about what's happening. So they're kind of like following along, like walking along the buildings or like peeking out of their windows. These ones,
Sparkle will give a little bit of a wave.
you get like a fast shudder. These ones aren't singing. They're just looking at you guys.
Is the singing common, or is there some specific purpose to it today?
Oh, yes, that is that is the goblin warning chant.
Mm.
It's to let you know that you should tread carefully.
Huh. Do you typically communicate such concepts through music?
Yes, goblins are a very musical people. I can understand why nobody knows that, because goblins are usually not thought of as masters of song or poetry, but in fact we are. We are very good at it. Also speech we are very good at.
I've never had the pleasure of meeting a goblin, so I hadn't formed any judgments ahead of time.
Well, that is good. I hope that your companions also agree with you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of course, of course.
In any case, yes, singing, very important, especially now that our Lord Malgublyet has awakened. He seems to have a real ear for music nowadays, so
Nice.
we have definitely moved some resources to creating new fanciful instruments, and our bards, although already legendary, have been working overtime.
Was he less musically inclined before his slumber?
I suppose he used to be much more into marches and war chants, but now he seems to have developed an ear for finer fare, madrigals and villanelles and songs.
They say aged changes everyone's taste.
I suppose. Actually, I suppose you're right. Age does change the way things taste.
Mm.
He leads you to a different part of the city where there are some tall, maybe like 7, 8-story buildings, kind of all arranged in what appears to be a semicircle. Some of them look fine. I mean, none of these buildings are like impressive architecturally. They're just kind of blah, nothing, like gray rectangular buildings. And again, are arranged in a semicircle. And as you approach one of the buildings, you see that at the center of the semicircle, there is like nothing. It's just a hole.
Can we tell how deep?
If you were to actually from looking across, all the way across it, you can tell that it is very deep.
What is this?
Oh, that is the chasm to the Undercity.
Oh, what's in the Undercity?
More goblins, I suppose.
Ah.
Also the Pit of Sorrows, but you shouldn't go there.
All right. What is that?
It's another hole.
Understood. Thank you.
It's full of sorrows. You don't
Don't
You don't
want
want
them.
to go near it. Yes. So he leads you to a building, and he's like, "Well, you can stay here.
All right.
I suppose I'll run it up the chain that you wanted to see our Lord Malgublyet and see what comes of it. Expect nothing."
Of course. And if there's any way we can make ourselves useful while we wait, please let us know.
Well, like I said, try not to step on anyone. And oh yes, I suppose I should let you know if anyone comes in here and tries to eat you, you should tell them that you're here on official business. You all speak Goblin, right?
No.
Unfortunately, we don't.
What sort of envoys come to a Goblin city and do not speak Goblin?
Just tell people to leave us alone for about 10 minutes.
Yes, do you have a piece of writing that has some goblin on it? We can allow ourselves to, we can use magic to make ourselves speak goblin.
Maybe one of the fine elven poem or goblin poems.
I mean, I have a shopping list.
Will
Suppose
that do,
that'll do.
Andis?
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
written in
sure.
goblin.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay,
Bread,
thank you.
eggs, breaded eggs.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and as far as telling people to leave you alone, no.
Fair.
And he walks out. And he just brought you to what is essentially an empty building. There's like no furniture or anything.
Well, let's hope they don't decide to toss this one.
Well, this is going to be
Yes.
delightful.
Well, kinda think I wish we had a bard.
Oh, yeah. To
Right.
compose something.
Yeah,
Although it obviously wouldn't be as good as the goblins.
I suppose not.
Their warning ship was actually quite catchy.
So I suppose I should spend some components to make us all fluent in goblin.
Probably a good
Yes.
idea.
I've got
Yes.
the
Would
comprehend
seem to
language
be
scrolls.
Yeah, I know the ritual.
Okay.
The kind of check is 35 or higher, so if I don't roll a nat 1...
Yeah, you should be fine.
So basically, we have the same problem as ever.
Yep.
Will you roll a nat 1?
Well, let's find out. So
The issue is that it allows you to understand Goblin, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's one.
Yeah, it's like whoever casts
Yeah,
it.
whoever casts it.
Oh no. Okay.
But if we do the scroll though, then anybody
We can-
could do it.
Well, let's do the one that everybody can.
Well, all right. So, gonna use those scrolls, and
I have
I'll
1,
cast.
2, 3, 4, 5 of them, so you have to use your own.
All right, I'll
It-
cast my own ritual.
Do you want me to cast this 5 times, Rodrigo?
No. Or
Because if everybody has to have one.
I gotta remember how scrolls work.
Yeah, there's not a thing on here. It just says level 1 exploration, 5 minutes for a scroll to be cast, cost of 10. When beginning the ritual, choose a language you have heard or a piece of writing you have seen within the past 24 hours. Using the ritual on a language you have heard allows you to understand it when spoken for the next 24 hours. If the Arcana check results in 35 or higher, to speak the language fluently for the duration. Using this ritual on a language you have seen, same thing, 24 hours, 35 or higher, allows you to write it. But it doesn't say individual or group or anything like that.
Does it say target?
And it has no target on there unless there
Well,
Weird.
yeah,
let me
whoever
see
casts it is the target.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like who makes the roll. Maybe creating.
I've got 5 of them, so my guess is we were each supposed to have 1.
Yeah, I feel like 1,000 years ago we settled on when the roll was made. So we'll just
Sounds-
make it that just for added hilarity that whoever
Uses the scroll has to roll.
whoever uses the scroll has to roll. So
All right, I hand everybody but Randus a scroll.
since you do have to like, I mean that makes sense. You have to like interpret the scroll and essentially
Yeah.
cast a spell off of it.
Right.
What are we rolling for our thing?
Arcana?
Arcana.
Ugh.
And then the scroll is gone right after.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
It
it's a
burns up.
one-time use.
Consumed.
All right.
Are we going to use them now?
I think so. What is this last sentence? Light fuse and get away?
I have a 29.
Ah!
Nice.
Sakar hits a nat
Of course.
20
Of course you rolled a nat 20.
for a 33, which still isn't 35. But
But it's a nat 20. So it's a success of some sort.
Yes.
Yep, it is a success.
Now
Okay.
I speak.
Did everybody roll?
I have not yet. 43. Okay, so using this ritual on a language you have both heard and seen as a piece of writing within the past 24 hours allows you to understand it in both forms for the next 24 hours, and an Arcana check result of 35 or higher allows you to speak and write the language.
Sad. So, Sakar and I can understand it, but not speak it.
Yes, but since he got a nat 20, you are actually the only one who has the lower version.
Boo.
So I can speak Goblin.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So there you guys are.
Here we
Okay.
are.
For 24 hours, we now speak Goblin.
Correct.
Mhm.
Do we see anything around us that has a sign on it that says "Eat here" or "Please kill these humans"?
No, you do not.
Okay.
What does our room look like?
It looks
It's empty.
like it is an empty room.
Are the walls like stone
literally,
or wood? Or...
this is like a 4-story building with multiple rooms. There is like nothing here.
Okay.
Do we have a scroll to cast furniture?
I mean, you have a scroll to make a tiny hut,
Yes.
or
Make
a
a hut
ritual to
inside the
make a
house.
tiny hut. So you could do that.
Would it make a tiny hut within the room?
You can probably find a room big enough to hold your tiny hut, like maybe the lobby of the building.
Well, my question was, the tiny hut comes with like furniture. Could we cast the tiny hut in the room and move the furniture out of the tiny hut?
No.
I think the ritual addresses
Yes.
that.
You create a sturdy lodge large enough to accommodate 8 medium creatures. The ritual uses materials found in the area, so the lodge can be formed of snow, stone, wood, or even sod. The lodge encloses a close burst 4 in size. The interior is dry and clean and includes 9 bunks, a long table with stools, and a writing desk. The shelter is not heated or cooled, but it is immune to fire and impervious to all damage. Access to its interior by 2 shuttered windows, a single door, and a chimney. Furniture can be removed from the shelter, but it vanishes along with the lodge when the ritual's duration expires.
Ooh, we can't.
So, is this room burst 4? Because we could put the hut right in the middle of the room. That
Yes,
might
you
be
could find a big
presumptuous.
enough room to put your secure shelter in.
That seems like it might be presumptuous, but it also might be wise.
I'm fine
Well.
either way. She says and like rolls out a bedroll.
Yeah, we do have our adventuring gear with us.
I mean, we don't really plan on going anywhere, do we? Just wait for them to come back?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I'm not exploring.
Okay.
I mean, this place is literally crawling with goblins.
Yep.
So I don't think we need to do a secure shelter there, Sakar. You've got a
All
bedroll,
right.
correct?
Well, yes, but why use it if one does not have to?
They provided us this place. Maybe they'll take offense if we,
Yeah, they seem extremely proud.
yeah.
I mean, I'm right there with you, Sakar. I prefer a bed myself, but I'm also trying to be diplomatic, and hopefully we won't be here too long.
That I can agree with. Did he say that he had spoken with Malgublyet? Or
Nope,
that
he
had
was gonna
seen-
go-
No, he was
gonna go
going
talk to
to
him.
send the word up the chain and didn't expect anything to come of it. So, yeah, we'll see.
The musical thing intrigues me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if these entities aren't somehow being affected by their slumber.
Oh, they most certainly are.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty clear from Ulridon.
Yes.
But I mean, fundamental changes in their nature. I suppose Coralon would not have been affected as he wasn't asleep.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Still,
so
the rules are
gods,
changing.
at least as far as I can understand, are fundamentally affected by a lot of things. Like it could be about how their worshippers have changed since they've been asleep.
It could also be that their divine portfolio is still kind of in flux.
Mm-hmm.
Could be they just like singing.
Or that.
Yeah, when a god changes,
It's
not
a thing.
just anything.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing. And if they're all changing,
No, I haven't seen evidence that they're all changing, but it's possible. I mean, the treaty fell apart. Multiple gods have died. There's a reshuffling, a power grab. And
You guys hear some banging on the wall.
any particular wall or just a generalized banging?
Yeah, a particular wall. It's the wall that has the front door on it.
I'll go poke my head out the front door.
Okay. There is a goblin there who is like attaching some sort of big metal, like kind of curlicue looking thing to the building.
Hello.
Like looks over at you. Hello.
What is that?
Hello.
Oh, she like looks at one of the people whose ritual is working.
What are you doing?
Ah, you speak the tongue of the people. Good for you. I am attaching this thing.
What
What
does
is
the thing represent?
Clank.
Hmm.
What does it represent? I don't know. I'm not a poet. It's a big metal curlicue thing.
Why are you attaching it?
You see, like, maybe 4 other goblins bringing another one up, and they start attaching it to the other side. Clang.
Who told
Why
you
are
to?
you?
Ask who
I can't
told him
hear
to attach
you
it.
over all this clanging.
Oh boy.
I take a look at the symbol.
Is it a
there's
symbol?
no symbol. It's like
It's just like a
big
giant
piece of
eye
curled
hook.
metal. It's like so. Imagine about 6 feet of tube, and then it like starts curling up, kind of like an egg, like a not an egg beater. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a whisk?
Like a whisk.
Okay.
Nice. Ask who told him to put it there.
Who told you to put this here?
What? My foreman told me to put this here.
Where is your foreman?
I don't know. Probably drinking, and all the goblins start laughing.
What is this for?
It's for this building.
Does it do anything?
It kind of does this, and he like climbs up because by this point he's like completely attached to it, and he kind of like pulls on the curly part, and it makes this like weird metallic noise.
Does that have some meaning?
I don't know. Does wow wow wang mean something to you, Elfie boy?
Oh boy.
You see about 10 more goblins, and they appear to be bringing a big old carpet.
Oh, they're making us welcome.
Out of the way, bird. We need
They're
inside.
not making us welcome.
Oh, that makes sense. All right.
They're
Yes.
making someone else
I'll-
welcome.
I'll stand aside. Hey, that's still a good sign.
We'll just watch them do what they do and prepare for whatever's coming on this carpet.
Yes.
And if they start attaching anything that looks like a giant
band.
sling,
Yes, we're getting out.
Yes.
you'll get out. Anything that looks like it might be a pea shooter or a boomerang, also suspect.
Okay. Yep, these guys bring a carpet in, and they just roll out the carpet in the center of the room, and it's a nice carpet, and they attach it to the ground, and then 20 more goblins show up, and then 150 more goblins show up, and then maybe 600 more show up, and they're just working on this building.
I am careful not to step on any of them.
Yes.
Yeah. At this point, there are several hobgoblins here as well, supervising.
Should we go somewhere while this is being done?
Should we go somewhere while this is being done?
What?
I mean, you're working. Is us being here in your way?
Well, this is the building that we were supposed to work on. Are you supposed to be here?
Yes.
Okay, well, then you have to stay. Unless you're not supposed to be here, then get out.
Okay. We're supposed to stay, I guess.
All right.
This is where they expect to find us. I can't imagine not being here.
I
As the
just
best of
wanted to make
plans.
sure this is wonderful.
Yes.
She said this is wonderful.
Huh?
The work you're
It's all
doing,
right.
it's wonderful.
It's all right.
Oh, like a goblin walks up and is like, he like holds up his hand, like, I will accept a tip.
I'll give him a gold.
Oh, shiny. And he like goes back to work. And then 4 more goblins walk up to Randus.
Yep, that was a mistake.
Mistake,
that
Randus.
counts.
Tell them that they have to share.
You'll have to share.
Another creature walks into the room.
Okay.
It is about 7.5 feet tall at the hump. Has big goblin-y ears. Is like incredibly muscular and has a little puppy nose.
Is it a bugbear?
It is in
Yes.
fact a bugbear. He walks up to the goblins that have gathered around Randus, picks one up by the head, and just crushes it like a mango.
Ah.
Hmm.
Foreman says back to work, and all the other goblins scatter.
Are you the foreman, sir?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
like,
is that goblin very dead?
oh yeah, super dead.
Okay.
Great.
Way to go, Randus.
Sorry.
A couple other goblins come in and like very like nonplussed, like clean up the mess and drag out the carcass.
Oh boy.
Ah.
So very, very quickly, this is like transformed into like a very weird, like luxury apartment.
Nice.
Yeah, the walls are like refurbished and like actual windows are installed. The carpet's nice. The original carpet that was brought in is like a 2-part thing. So once work is done, they like remove the top layer, to get rid of all the dust and stuff. And
Goblin blood.
That's pretty
Yeah.
clever.
Yeah.
a cleaning crew comes in and makes sure that there's no like dust. They like shine all the fixtures. It's all like it's kind of very like brassy.
Very industrious.
Mm-hmm.
What a good crew.
The work you can get done with thousands.
Yeah. And some extremely intense motivational practices.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah,
I open the door and shout out, "Thank you very much."
As they leave, one of the hobgoblins looks over at you and kind of squints and it'll just like waves.
I wave back. Boy, that was weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
illuminating.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very much so.
Always good to know a society's view of death and punishment, And- tipping.
Hmm.
Or just motivational speaking. I mean, he did say, the foreman said, get back to work.
Yeah, that's messed up. I mean,
Well, you have to figure in a society with hundreds of thousands
yeah,
of.
life is cheap.
Unnerving.
Hmm. This is certainly a good sign that we will be getting an audience soon.
Well,
Hopefully.
think so.
Maybe they're just meeting our needs.
That is also a possibility with this being an apartment all of a sudden.
It's plausible. Still, it's good sign either way. It shows they're taking our presence seriously.
True.
Agreed.
There's a knock at the door.
Go and sir, open the door.
Oh yeah, the door's new too.
Wow,
Yeah.
neat.
There is a hobgoblin standing there in white robes,
Hello.
Hi.
catering.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Right in here, I suppose.
He walks through, and a bunch of goblins follow, carrying either containers or basically what appears to be a bunch of like rods and planks and stuff, and they start setting up over there.
Watch the process.
Yep, they're gonna make some food. They've got some like portable burners, and they're just kind of like, taking out some fruits and chopping them up, and taking out some vegetables and chopping them up, and taking out some lizards and chopping them up, and
Like you do.
like you do.
Gotta clean them and butcher them.
Yep. It's a nice arrangement of bat. You can eat the wings, but they're really just for garnish. They don't have any meat.
Could use some sauce.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
The rest of it's good.
I will eat the fruit and vegetables.
It's all intermingled with the lizard juices.
I mean, these are complete dishes, so it is hard to not get any lizard.
All right, that's fine.
As you guys eat, you guys hear what sounds like something slapping one of the windows.
Go and look.
And when you look at it, there is a big scaly foot up against the window, like in it's got two toes that are pointing in one direction and two toes that are pointing in a different direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
It appears to be the leg of an enormous lizard that is climbing up the side of the building.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't think it was Gamma that got turned into a lizard.
I put the lizard bits back down onto the plate. What was that?
Huh? Oh, that's just security.
Oh, okay. Wow, you really go all out for your guests.
I suppose this isn't for you. Just Malgublyet doesn't go anywhere that isn't at least fancy enough for him.
Oh, nice.
So we had to turn this hole that you guys picked out into someplace more inhabitable.
Well, you've done a fantastic job.
No, he's a man of his taste.
We could have gone somewhere else, but
there's a knock at the door.
I answer it.
Okay, there is a bugbear with a barrel strapped to his back. Looks down at you. Booze.
Okay.
I open the door and let him in.
He squeezes in. It with the bugbear and the barrel is actually a pretty tight fit, but he makes it. Apparently, he's used to this.
Bugbear
and then puts down the barrel, and then a bunch of goblins come in with like different drinks in different bottles. And they kind of set up a table over there as well.
Wow.
Maybe we should just not eat a whole lot more until after Malgublyet arrives.
Yeah,
that sounds agreeable.
Always to have to kind of watch your liquor when you don't know what's in it.
This is a knock at the door.
I open it.
Okay. It's a bunch of goblins carrying weird instruments, like stringed instruments, drums, and wind instruments.
Oh, the band is here.
Oh, good.
Lovely.
Come on in.
And the band comes in and starts setting up.
All right. Well, this guy, God really knows how to
Make an
enjoy
entrance?
life.
Put a room together.
I have to say I approve.
There's a knock at the door. Who's answering it?
I will.
There you go, Cat.
Now everyone's it.
There is a hobgoblin there with an entourage of goblins. When Ket opens the door, he looks Ket up and down and just sighs.
Yes.
Wardrobe?
Yes.
Excellent.
Comes through and starts taking measurements.
On everybody or just Cat?
Nope, on everybody.
Okay. Blue really is my best color.
I'm a 64 long and fireproof.
They start getting to work.
Okay.
And very quickly, they have some outfits for you guys. And they are kind of, how best to put it?
Awesome.
Like,
Yes.
sort of. Like,
Acceptable?
like you guys are a D&D party. And like
yes.
that's kind of what the outfits look like. Like they make Oram like these stupidly big robes with a pointy hat that kind of flops towards the top.
yes.
And let me guess, it's brown, right?
It is it's like maroon.
Oh, great.
And they give Little Sparkle like a big gray cloak that like ties together with like, it's like two gaudy clasps on either side with like a chain between them.
Love it. Big fan.
Yeah, and some like super baggy ass pants,
Nice.
like the kind that come to the knee, and then like you can tie them,
off.
which they do.
Awesome. So they're like pedal pushers?
So they're kind of like Aladdin's pants.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh,
or MC
man.
Hammers.
I'm a
Yeah, or MC Hammers, yes.
street.
And it's all gray from top to bottom.
Awesome.
Ket gets like a nobleman's outfit, complete with like a tiny cape. And
Please tell me it has a neck ruff.
It does. It does.
Yes!
It's huge, and they make it very clear that it's going to be a problem if they don't if he doesn't let them style his mustache.
Mm.
You're getting the Orville right.
Okay, with this, I'm gonna indicate Guy.
They're like, They like kind of try to fluff him up like a poodle. Guy does not like it.
This is
Okay,
definitely
that's
our
a little
best stop
fast.
yet.
Oram does not like it either. He looks like a cat that's been dipped in water.
Randus
Mhm.
gets like a fancy sort of like kind of double-breasted jacket, and then a very, very heavy apron.
Hmm.
And they actually take off his goggles and give him bigger, stupider goggles.
Okay.
And they give him some gloves that go all the way up to the elbow.
Mm.
Oh my god.
But then they have trouble getting them on his metal arm, so they go and they get bigger gloves.
I'm just picturing Randus as Agatha Heterodyne.
Yep, there's kind of that. And Sakar gets like big metal shoulder pads and a big cylindrical metal helmet with like a grate.
So he like looks like a WoW guard.
Yeah. He looks like he's wearing a pot on his head, but it's a nice pot. And
Well, sure.
he gets some like chainmail accents and stuff.
Look, I know you tank and like hide, but that's stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. What are you doing?
It's actually quite pleasant.
You can tell there's like an ornamental sword and some like really like gold leaf embossed like heavy armor, because apparently somebody expected there to be a paladin here, and they're kind of disappointed that they have to like pack it up.
What? No divine class? Weirdos.
How can you get by?
There's a knock at the door.
Orem's not answering it. Not dressed like this.
I'll answer it.
Okay. There's like a bunch of actually pretty well-dressed goblins. I mean, they got robes, and they're just, good quality robes. Like fragrance.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Okay.
So they walk in, and the lead goblin has like a big bag, and just like throws like these like white petals all over the place. And then the other ones have these like big glass like bottles with like a round squeezy atomizer, and they proceed to really overwhelmingly perfume the room with kind of combative scents, like like any given one of these scents would probably be okay on its own, but there's like multiple ones, so it's like pretty overwhelming. They're also not shy about spritzing you guys with them.
Oh, joy.
And how does it smell?
Well, it's again not bad, but certainly not anywhere near the subtlety and bouquet that Orem likes to have as a smell.
Does it smell like a grandmother's bathroom with all the perfumes and everything?
Kind of. It kind of smells like when you walk through like a cheap department store's perfume area, and
it's
there's
the worst
still,
of all possible smells.
Yeah,
the JCPenney fragrance department.
Yeah,
I like to call it the migraine department.
The air is still like thick with previous scent assaults. The door opens, and a new hobgoblin, this one dressed in the fanciest robes you have seen so far, looks around, looks at you guys, looks at the band, looks at the catering, looks at the drinks, smells the air, and nods, kind of, it's like kind of moves his head back and forth, like maybe this could be better. But it'll probably do. And he puts, his thumb and his his index finger in his mouth, and whistles really loudly. And it is like an actual thing. It's like he's like wee 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 wee, just like a weird tune. And the band starts up, and he walks out.
Are they playing the tune that he played?
No, they're playing something else, but it's a pretty bopping tune. It's like it's drum heavy and pretty upbeat.
So it's like the White Stripes, basically.
Probably more like a medium tempo mambo.
Cool.
So they start playing, and the lights dim, and in the center of the room appears a spark, kind of like a sparkler, like just fizzing. And then a couple more appear, and they start moving across the carpet, and they make this sort of lizardy emblem burn into the ground, which then sort of begins to smoke, kind of this purplish smoke, and out of it emerges a figure. It appears to be a young man with kind of really thoroughly well-styled, crazy hair, quote unquote. It's black. It's kind of goes all over the place. He's got pointy ears, although not like elf pointy ears, more like maybe like Eddie Munster pointy ears.
Okay.
He's wearing a long coat, but it is open, and you can see that underneath he is wearing just kind of a nice button-up shirt. He's got a cummerbund. He's got tight pants and some nice boots. And he emerges out of the smoke. The smoke clears, and the carpet is undamaged once it's all over, at which point he basically floats out of it. And then when he lands off the ground, the orchestra works it up to a crescendo and then ends as soon as basically he touches down and holds up his hands, and it ends in a major note or chord rather. Yep. And then all of the goblins that are not in the band clap, literally. Yay!
Politely join in the applause.
Join in.
Also clap. Yeah, good entrance. Yeah.
Like, hello, it is I, Malgublyet. That could have gone better, but hey, we're here.
Give him a bow.
Yes.
Yeah, bow. Thank you for seeing us on such short notice.
Oh, certainly. Have you had anything to eat yet? He walks over to the food and starts making himself a plate.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's very good.
Yeah, had some bat.
The bat was quite good. Yes.
Oh yes, they cook it just the way I like it. And he turns to look at you like a little kid that's like getting away with something. Otherwise, I kill them.
Oh,
and then
yes.
Looks back over and continues filling his plate. Well, what about drinks? Have you had anything to drink?
No, we waited until you arrived.
Oh, I feel like you did this backwards, but that's fine. You have your own style. And he goes over and says, well, we have beer, we have several kinds of wine, and of course, we have special goblin wine.
What is goblin wine like?
Oh, it is very special in that there are these berries that only grow in the Undercity.
Oh.
And so we take these berries and we lay them out. Then we wait for flies to come.
Oh.
And eat them. And then the berry juice ferments inside the flies. We harvest the flies, and that's how the wine is made.
How does that affect the taste?
It makes it very pungent.
I'm sure.
He pours a glass and holds it out.
And take a sniff.
It's very pungent.
I'll accept.
Okay. Ket takes the glass, takes a drink.
Yep.
I mean, Ket has probably had worse alcohol that was just like, not great. But I mean, this is something, it's like a very specific taste. Calling it wine is really not accurate. It's very like, again, it's like, it lives in your nose. And has very little beneath that. Except for kind of a slight metallic taste.
Delightful. I will have a beer.
Orem, you should try this.
No, thank you.
One of the goblins taps the keg or the barrel and pours a beer.
Thank you.
It's not bad. It smells like, pretty normal, probably up like mid to upper quality beer. Does not actively assail your senses.
Yay.
So not an IPA.
Oh. I like IPAs.
All right, so everybody gets a drink?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Does anybody else get any more food?
I'll get some food.
I think the overall combo of what Orem is wearing and the smells and the scents and everything that's floating around, it's kind of soured his stomach just slightly.
once he sees that everybody has what they're gonna get, motions you to come over to some chairs, like some stuffed chairs, like couches, basically, that have been set up. And he takes one whole one himself and kind of, lays down sideways at it, and goes to put down his glass, realizes that there isn't a table, and starts to kind of frown, at which point a goblin runs over with a table and sets it down in front of him. And he sets down his glass.
Malgublyet looks like Jeff Goldblum, doesn't he?
Yeah, maybe young Goldblum.
Okay.
Earth Girls Are Easy era.
Yeah, like Ian, definitely Ian Malcolm energy, but Texas looks. Right? Was that his name? Dallas? What was he in Buckaroo Banzai?
It's
New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. That's what it was. Yeah.
You're thinking of Pecos.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pecos is from Texas.
He's Pecos, right?
Yeah.
No, you're Pecos. No, Pecos isn't Tibet.
I got Steven to do it. Yay! Moving on.
Well, I'll sit down on one of the chairs.
As will I.
Yep, I'll find a
an
chair.
appropriate chair.
I'll find an inappropriate chair.
So, group for Erathis then.
Yes. We are looking for signatories on her version of the new Treaty of Gods.
Yeah, I was kind of left out of the last one.
Well, we were hoping that you might want to change that.
Well, who have you gotten to sign already?
We have as signatories Cord, Ulradon, Great Tiger, and Thene.
Hate him, don't know him. Meh.
We were suggested to head your way as you may not be a fan of the other side.
Yes, well, we assumed that given your under active attack from agents of Asmodeus.
Oh, yes. You mean the blockade?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, well, that has proven to be a bit of a problem. Let's just say that our usual MO is to overwhelm through numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that this blockade has gotten themselves to a place where that is not
feasible.
Terribly. Yes, they do seem to be very well funded. So that is an issue. But we are working through it. We are devising new ways to clear them out. So I'm sure here pretty soon we'll be able to get a handle on the situation.
I did like the idea of throwing a house at them.
Oh yeah, they weren't expecting that.
No one was expecting that. And that's why it's a good gambit.
Yeah, takes a sip. Do hate Asmodeus though. Possibly more than I hate Ulradon.
Well, would your hatred of Asmodeus be enough to count you as a signatory, or is there anything else that we could do to persuade you?
Well, I do hate the idea of Asmodeus being in charge of anything.
As do we.
That would be bad for everyone, I think.
Absolutely.
Our thoughts as well.
Also, I think you joining might kind of rankle Ulradon as well, so that could be fun. I mean, that probably
would. It would what?
Kind of rub them the wrong way.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He wouldn't like it.
Yeah, but I think he'd, be too
Bound
professional to oppose it. But if he would find that enjoyable, him not being amused by it.
Asmodeus has a weird sense of humor. I don't know. I mean, if I sign on with you guys, what would be expected?
That when the time comes to call for a vote, that you back Arathis' version of the treaty.
Well, I do get along okay with Arathis.
You do make a massive society.
Indeed.
Yes.
Sprawling city full of industry.
Yes, goblins are always seen as brutish and stupid, but in fact, they are an industrious people.
I've been very impressed with the work today.
Yes, and we've heard that
Agreed.
you've taken to a new appreciation of music.
Oh, well, I'd like to think that I always appreciated music, but yes, I suppose I'm in more of a kind of an absorption period. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where you like to take in art before you then turn it back and create with what you have taken. Synthesize it.
Of course, they say one of the keys to great art is to observe and learn from and recombine the works of others.
Yes. So I'm very, very happy to hear pieces now, especially if they don't necessarily jive with goblin tastes. I mean, I'm largely surrounded by goblin musicians.
It's unfortunately not music, but we have some poetry and, in fact, a bit of a play that we recently acquired from the Library of Thene, if that would be at all of interest to you.
Oh, yes, of course.
Orm pulls out his copy of The Grave of Kings and hands it to him.
So, do you guys have this rehearsed, or is this like a study?
Okay, well, Orm kind of puts his, pinches the bridge of his nose and just kind of shakes his head.
It's very much a work in progress, I'm afraid. We've only actually had one rehearsal so far.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. This is like more. What do I want to say? It's like it's raw, right? It's like before it gets polished. I think,
and we can take your notes and use it for any further productions. She looks at Sakar.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Yes. Do you want to do it now?
Okay. Places, everyone. Places. Everyone pulls out their copy. Now, please forgive us again. We've only had the one rehearsal. So I'm not sure everyone has their lines perfectly memorized, but I think you'll get a good idea of what's going on. Do you happen to have a bell by chance?
Oh, yes. I can have one brought.
I bet one of the musicians have one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely one of them does.
Okay.
In the meantime, perhaps Ket could read from his book of poetry.
Oh, yes. Why don't you set that up, and then I would be glad to hear some poetry.
Okay.
Certainly. It's a collection of poems by Rago the Singer. Speaking of Mesco and her sisters.
Okay.
This one is known as The Boil.
Okay.
The sage rested, and a great boil grew from his back. "Why do you grow so large and painful, O boil?" asked the sage. "Mesco commands me." The sage flopped onto his back and popped the boil. He was in much pain, and Mesco was angry. But the sage had bested her.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Thought that might be enjoyable.
Yeah, I like the part where somebody was in pain, but also somebody else got thwarted.
Well, if you like that, if you like seeing people thwarted, we have one too. I hand Randus the bell and a little rod to ding it. Our players, Randus Duthane will be playing Nox Arcos.
Oh.
Sakar will be playing the Fated One.
Fading
Don't
one.
remember my last name, do you?
Sakar. Ket will
Oh,
be
well,
playing.
if you're gonna play Nox Arcos, then you need to look the part. Give me 1 second. And he
Oh.
walks out of the room,
Okay.
and then you guys hear some screeching,
Oh boy.
and then he comes back with a like the head of one of those lizards with like some skin attached. And then he kind of like affixes it to Randus's shoulder.
Uh,
There we go. That's better.
Oh, you've met Nox?
Oh yes, many times.
Oh, could you tell us more about him? It might help Randus get into character.
Oh yes, of course. Nox Arcos is, kind of your championing knight type, always out questing and I don't know, rescuing people and slaying dragons and wearing them.
Is he another god?
Yes,
Oh, is he slumbering?
I think so.
Hmm.
Orm has got his finger on his lips and is like, yes. Ah, yes, perfect, yes. All right.
I don't. One more thing. I don't
Yes.
suppose your player here is a castrato.
No, I don't believe he is.
Oh well, I'm sure it would affect things.
Okay.
I wouldn't?
Well, because Nox Arcos is.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, that sort of thing. He's not distracted by things like that, so he doesn't have any of those.
Okay. All right. Yes. Let's see. Ket will be playing the part of Coralon, and Little Sparkle will be playing the part of Uranko. We open.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay. Now, you may have to use a little imagination. I know your imagination is very great, but imagine a great battle is raging, and enters Nox Arcos.
Now I toll this bell. Bong.
The sound. It is anathema to my very being.
It is anathema to you indeed, old enemy, for I have learned the secret of your life end. This Camparnium tolls the end of your campaign.
Was the bell thrice forged in a pauper's smithy?
She was.
Was it silvered by the hands of a virgin maid?
She was, and she was. And with one last toll, you are accounted for.
Alas, I die.
The great battle continues to rage.
Can anyone account for such mayhem?
How could they afford their weapons if not for the accountants?
So it is the actuaries to blame for this decimation.
Fractions are their specialty. Truly, it is they whom we should fear.
Alas, I think I see one now. Let us divide, lest he quarters us both.
And scene. Orm looks nervously at Malgublyet.
And Malgublyet strokes his chin. He's like, yes, I like the part where that guy died.
Yes.
Certainly the dramatic climax of the scene.
It's this kind of old style of play where you have like clowns, your clown characters. I do like that. Hate that one of them is Coralon.
Yeah,
but what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't write it. I mean, but perhaps we could take some artistic license and change that to someone else.
Yeah.
Do you have someone in mind?
No one I like.
Oh, okay.
This is probably fine. Maybe if you perform this again, you just have to. I mean, since these are kind of funny characters, maybe at the end you can have Coralon fall off the stage.
Oh, okay. Orm is
just
writing
kinda
all this down feverishly onto
bumble
another
his way
ream of
into the
paper.
orchestra pit, and
Yes,
you could
that'd
have
be
your
so
actor
funny.
actually break their leg.
That would be very, very funny.
Though it would
I like
hurt
the method
the
acting.
continuity of repeat performances, but not
Look,
not a deal breaker.
if you ever mount this, I'll send you a cleric.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely.
Would you like to keep a copy of the play for yourself?
Oh, no.
Okay.
It's better this way. I just retain it in my memory. By the way, that was a great Nox Arcos. I like how high your voice was.
Thank you.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Thank you.
Fading One, I do like the drama, but I wish you would have like kind of fallen over, or had some other way, like maybe have somebody come from off stage and like hold up a plank in front of you. You just need to show
indicate
that. You
that.
need to show me that death.
Very good. Very good. Yes, this is only the second time that we've performed this.
Well, it was very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Orm kind of gives Sakar the little nod of, see, you should have read your notes.
Sakar completely ignores Orem.
And that's why you will never receive the Academy's highest award. That's
Also
the look
why
that
I
Orm,
will-
that's the look Orm shoots back at him.
That's the look.
That's the look. You know it.
Unfortunately, Sakar is ignoring the look, so
Burns through the back of your head and explodes out the front.
I have fire resistance up to 10. Checkmate.
Nice. God, you guys.
See, I do read my character sheet sometimes. Now,
But yes, if you were to agree to join our coalition, we can also create. There are certainly finer performers than us that could possibly come to bring you further music and theater if this blockade can be destroyed.
Oh yeah, you got an inn. Oh well, you must have an inn with some players from Shalai.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And also, I
Find some.
feel that goblin construction crews could perhaps be gainfully employed across the realms.
Yes. Their efficiency is remarkable.
Yes. The trick is to make them fear for their lives.
So we've gathered.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I like you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So, what the heck? Why don't you put me down for a soft yes, and let me know what side Lolth ends up falling on.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Why would that?
Why?
Which way would it affect you?
Oh, I
Are
hate
you-
Lolth.
Well,
Oh, she's already with the other guys.
Oh, really? Well, then put me down for a medium yes.
Okay.
any other gods or goddesses that we should be particularly concerned about?
Assume I hate all of them.
All right.
you,
Noted.
you did say you hated Coralon. I believe Coralon is likewise on the other side.
Well,
Is he?
he's doing his own thing, I think.
He's actually just abstained on the vote.
Oh, yeah, that's like him. Oh, what a nug.
Yes, he had signed on originally to Arathis' plan and then at the last minute decided to abstain. It was rather frustrating for everyone involved.
That's just like
Is there anyone else that particularly hates Asmodeus?
I hate that. Well, everybody pretty much hates Asmodeus. The question is, does he have any dirt on them? That's how Asmodeus gets his coalitions going.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Well, thank you so much. Is there
Yes.
something you could sign or something? that we
token?
yes, a token that we could use to show that you have thrown in your medium support.
Oh, sure. Here, I'll just. He like walks over to Randus and like taps the lizard head, and his seal appears on it, and it kind of starts like gasping and like screeching.
Oh.
The seal or the head?
The head.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Is it permanently affixed to his shoulder?
No, he can take it off.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
Stick it in a bag quickly. It's horrifying.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We don't want to waste any of your valuable time. So, I mean, if there's anything else we could do for you, or if there's not anything else we can do for you, we could be on our way right now.
Well, perhaps we should wait. If you said that you had a plan in place for the blockade, it would be rather dangerous, I think, for us to try to exit the way we came at this juncture.
Yes. Unless you had a way of moving out in some other way, like flying or whatever.
No, unfortunately not.
Not while leaving the ship behind, at least.
Yeah, why don't you stick around? We were planning on waiting a couple more days, but again, we could probably push the trigger day up a little bit.
Is there anything we can do to help?
No, we're all about set.
What is your plan?
We are going to try to use the city to create a big astral wave.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Are you dropping the city into the astral sea?
Sort of. We're going to get well, you'll see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be waiting.
I assume this place that will be safe?
If you are within the outer wall, you'll be safe.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Thank you again.
No problem. Enjoy the food. I do need to get back to my palace, but I'll send somebody by to make sure you guys are where you need to be when we when we do the thing.
Yeah. Great.
All right.
Thank you. And bow.
Sounds good. Bow.
Yes. Bow. Yeah.
Well, I've had a lovely evening and goodbye. And he sinks into the ground with a big puff of smoke.
Impressive. Impressive. All right. Well, I think that's a great place to end this week's episode. Providing we don't do anything to screw this up. Everyone looks at Ket. Then I think we got another win on our side. So thank you, everybody, for checking us out this week. Again, dedicated to our hardcore listeners. We appreciate everything you do to spread the word and keep this show going. And if you have any questions, podcast@majorspoilers.com. And until next time, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits. And by all of your dice rolls, I mean all of you, even those of you who are not our hardcore listeners, everyone. Here's hoping your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2019 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.